Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel Aligning to Truth. My name is Dandelion Love and today I wanted to chat a little bit more about honesty, which is what I mentioned in my first video that I uploaded, which was honesty and listening and feeling. Now, honesty is a really good starting point because it means that we have to become aware, and with awareness we can start to create change. But honesty is one of those things where you have to realize and admit to yourself that you're lying, and the mind, the ego, definitely does not like that. The character doesn't like to think that it lies, but we actually do it all the time. You just think about when you're in the supermarket, you might have been having a shitty day or a hard day, or you're worried about something or whatever it is, and you're at the checkout and they're like, "Hi, how's your day?" And you're like, "Oh, good, thanks." Most people are responding that way, where we're putting on masks and we're showing up and we're presenting what we want the world to see. However, we're not actually experiencing that internally. And so that's just the tip of the iceberg line, when we have a story in our mind that we're actually trying to hold ourselves to, and we don't want it to look another way, we will also lie to ourselves. We believe something, that we need to do something or should be something, and we start to create and formulate lies around that. And we aren't really living in that space. So, most of us at some point are going to get triggered by an experience in our external world. And it's sort of showing us something. It's showing us something that's going on internally for us, and it's being reflected on the outside. And I think that something that we do is we aren't willing to be honest with ourselves about it. We quickly go into a blame state. It's us and them out there that is creating the problem, rather than looking internally about why and what we're feeling. So, I have recently experienced this. Well, I experience it all the time actually, but one of the bigger things for me recently was with my parents, and I got triggered, as we do quite often by our parents, right? And it's really easy to get into old stories and old patterns, and then I was experiencing incoherence in my body because of this. So I had to dive a little bit deeper and actually sit with, what am I looking for in this situation, and why am I reacting this way? And that really started to help create some space from what my character was experiencing, and so I could look at it objectively and see where I wasn't being honest with myself. What was I actually looking for in this experience or this connection? And then that started showing me something that is a pattern that I have in my life that shows up how I want people to show up in my life, which then was reflecting how I'm not showing up in my own life. And we get into this pattern and this process of really expecting others to be something for ourselves when we can't even be that for ourselves. So that's when I started to sit with and start to feel into where I wasn't being honest with myself and what I needed to change to create a different experience. So it's really about asking why and what is a couple of things that I do. And that helps us get into going past the mind. And you'll know if you're getting there because you start to feel a little bit squirmy about it. Like, you won't really want to admit that to ourselves. The mind is very good at blindsiding. It's very good at pushing stuff away that we don't want to look at. Or it's very easy to get into a blame state, as I expressed. So really digging into and objectively looking at yourself. And that means you have to separate from the character that you're playing. And if you're identifying with the character that you're playing, there's no place for that. You just become the victim of your experience instead of looking at what your character has taken on board to then experience the world in this way, some sort of program, story, or loop or belief, right? So those are just a couple of things that have really helped me, is separating myself from the character and looking a little bit deeper. And with that, then you start to become aware of your patterns and loops. So I hope you have found this somewhat insightful or helpful. And if you have any questions, please comment in the box below. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Much love. Bye.